Yes, friends, welcome back. Welcome to the second part of Kailas Satyarthi's speech. We are studying the chapter Let's March, the second part of Kailas Satyarthi's speech. Okay? We can do it. Yes, we can overcome the challenges. You may ask that, what can one person do? You may feel that, अकेला मैं कैसे कर सकता हूँ? What can one person do? I would recall a story of my childhood. He recalls the story of his childhood. A heavy fire had broken out in the forest. All the animals were running away, including lion, the king of the forest. Suddenly, then he saw a tiny bird rushing towards the fire. He asked the bird, "What are you doing?" To the lion's surprise, the bird replied, "I am going to extinguish the fire." The lion laughed and said, "How can you do it keeping just one drop of water in your beak?" The bird was adamant and she said, "I am doing my bit." Okay, that's what he said. Means many people say, "Arey, मैं अकेले कैसे कर सकता हूँ? How can I need support of other people." At that time, he tells the story that once there was a heavy fire in the forest, and all the animals were running helter skelter. Okay, including the king of the forest, the lion. And at that time, what he saw was that a bird is moving towards the fire, and he asks the bird, "What are you doing?" The bird says, "I am going to extinguish the fire." And the lion says, "How you are going to extinguish the fire with just one drop of water in your beak?" Because the bird, how much water she can carry? A small bird can carry whatever water will remain in its beak. But the bird was adamant and said, "I am doing my bit." See, such a small, what he wants to say is that a small bird wants to do its bit. If all the person, that means a single person has to do his bit. If all persons in this world do their own bit, a small thing which they can do, naturally what will happen? It will be such a big force, each one doing its own bit. Okay, each one doing its own bit, that will create a strong, when one person is weak, but when all do their own bit, it becomes a force, a strong force. Okay, that's what he wants to tell. Do your own bit. Everyone will do its own bit. Everyone will do its own thing. Naturally, in general, what's happening? Everyone is doing its own bit. That means a big force is doing something. Okay. 18 years ago, millions of individuals marched across the globe and demanded a new international law for the abolition of worst form of child labor, and it has happened. We did it. Millions of individuals did it. Give you an example. 18 years ago, each one, millions, then they became millions. Each one did his own bit. When each one came forward, it became millions. So millions and people, what they did? They marched to demand an international law against abolition of child labor. Okay, and what happened? The law was passed. Each individual doing its own bit. When this individual came together, they became millions, and when they became millions, they were to be heard. Okay, so it became an international law against child labor. Friends, we live in an age of rapid globalization. We are connected through high-speed internet. We exchange our goods and services in one single global market. Thousands of flights every day connect us from one corner to another corner of the globe. But there is one serious disconnect, and there is a lack of compassion. Let us inculcate and transform this individual compassion into a global compassion. Let us globalize compassion. Okay, so he says today the world, because of the technology, has changed so fast. Communication has become fast. We are connecting each other We can send goods, we can send services, we can send letters, we can communicate from one part to the other. So many flights moving in and out daily. People going from one place to another throughout the world. Okay, so connection is there. Everywhere connection is there, but there is one thing which has remained disconnected, and that is compassion. Compassion means sympathy towards suffering of others. Okay, concern for the suffering of others. Each one of us, there should be an individual compassion, and this individual compassion, each one, the way everyone has a compassion for other separation. So this should be globalized, means the whole world, people throughout the world should have compassion. Okay, so they should inculcate, develop an attitude of compassion towards people who are suffering. Mahatma Gandhi said, if we are to teach real peace in this world, we shall have to begin with the children. I humbly add, let us unite the world through the compassion for our children. He said, Mahatma Gandhi had once said that if we want peace in the world, we have to teach peace to the children because they are tomorrow's generation. Okay, if they understand the meaning of peace, the importance of peace, the world will be peaceful. Satyarthi says, I want to humbly add to this that the world can be united through compassion for the children, for the concern for the sufferings of the children. I ask, whose children are they who teach footballs? You never played with one. Yet never played with one. Whose children are they who harvest cocoa, yet have never tasted chocolates? Whose children are they who are dying of Ebola? Whose children are they who are kidnapped and held hostage? They are all our children. He said there are many children in this world who are stitching footballs. Means they are manufacturing footballs, but they have never played with their football. There are children who are working in the fields and harvesting cocoa but haven't eaten a single chocolate. There are children who are dying of Ebola. There are children who are kidnapped and hostage. After all, whose children? There are so many children in this world. After all, whose children are these? These are all our children. I remember an 8-year-old girl we rescued from intergenerational forced labor. What do you mean by intergenerational forced labor? It means from generation onward. That means, suppose a father, a person is working as a laborer with a landlord. After him, the whole family, his children, then after their children, and so it goes on from generation and generation. They are working as begars, wet begars, you can call it. Okay, you must have seen that serial Udan. In that, you had seen that girl working, first the father, then the girl working. So the family continues, they have to work with the landlord. So that is the intergenerational forced labor. So, he says, I remember an 8-year-old girl, which he had rescued from intergenerational forced labor from stone quarries. Means this girl, 8-year-old, had to work in a stone quarry. Imagine what life she must be living, working in a stone quarry at the age of 8. Her parents working in the same place, her grandparents working in the same place. When she was sitting in my car, right after her rescue, she asked me, why did you not come earlier? That innocent little girl, she was suffering a lot. So when Satyarthi rescued her from that quarry, and while she was sitting next to him in his car, she asked him, why didn't you come earlier? You see, imagine the plight she was undergoing. Her angry question still shakes me and has the power to shake the whole world. Her question is for all of us. What are we doing? What are we waiting for? How many girls will we allow to go without rescue? This is her angry question. Why didn't you come before to rescue me? Is What it did? It shook him, and it's going to shake. It's shaking the whole world. Her question is not for me. Her question is for all of us. What are we doing? Why are not we able to rescue these girls, small children? Why are they suffering in this modern world? We think we are progressive. We think we are modern. Then still, why this in this world? Children are questioning our inaction and watching our actions. We need collective actions with a sense of urgency. Every single minute matters. Every single child matters. Every single childhood matters. These children are questioning our inaction. Why you are not working for them? Why you are not able to rescue them? Because the way they are working in those places, okay, every minute matters, means for them that every single minute they are working, they are living their life is like days together for them. They are just waiting to get rescued. They are helpless people, helpless children. Okay, so every child is mattering, every child, every day, every minute is mattering. Therefore, I challenge the passivity and pessimism surrounding our children. I challenge this culture of silence and this culture of passivity, this culture of neutrality. And she said, I challenge, I am against this passivity, means you are taking it very passively. Why? Let it be. Okay? We don't care for that. Okay? We are not taking any action. We don't feel anything for it. There's no compassion for us, for the children. Okay? We are very neutral because it's not happening to us, our children. But there are many such children. They are also someone's children. They are our children. That's why he's saying always they are our children. They are not someone else's children. Think them as your own children. Think them as your own child is suffering. Just imagine if your child is suffering in that place. What will you have done? That's what Kailash is talking about. Now let us come to the third part. So he is making a request in this third part to all the governments, to all the people in this world. I call upon all the governments, intergovernmental agencies, businesses, faith leaders, workers, teachers and NGOs, and each one of us to put an end to all the forms of violence against children. He is requesting, he is pleading to everyone in this world, right from the government to the individual, everyone, every single person in this world to end this form of violence. Slavery, he says slavery, trafficking, child marriages, child labor, sexual abuse, and illiteracy. These things have no place in any civilized society. He says that we are saying that our society today is a civilized society. We are all civilized people. Then why these children are suffering? Why the trafficking is going on? Why sexual abuse is going on with children? Why there is illiteracy among children? Why there is child labor? Why there is child marriages? All this, if you are considering your society as a civilized society, all these things should end. Friends, we can do this. Governments must make child-friendly policies and invest in education and young people. Businesses must be more responsible, accountable, and open to innovative partnerships. Intergovernmental agencies must work together to accelerate action. Global civil society must rise above the business as usual and fragmented agendas. Faith leaders and institutions and all of us must stand with our children. So he is requesting, he is telling how all these agencies, the government can come together. He says government should make, to end all these things, government should make child-friendly policies. Okay, the government should invest in education. Government should invest in young people. Business houses, the big business houses, they should be more responsible. They should understand, they should be accountable, they should be more responsible towards the society. They should not just make profits. They should also be responsible towards society. They should make some innovative partnership with the social organizations. And the intergovernmental agencies, he said, should work together to accelerate action. Global societies, civil societies must rise above the business as usual and fragmented agenda. Means all these civil societies in this world should come above their fragmented agenda. Means they are split up plans, agendas of plans. Okay, every society, civil society has its own plan. So you should come above all these things and make a single unified plan and fight against this child injustice to the children. We must be bold, we must be ambitious, and we must have the will. We must keep our promises. We must be bold, we should not get feared. We should be ambitious, and we should have the will to fight against the challenges faced by the children. Over 50 years ago, on the first day of my school, he's telling you what 50 years ago had happened. On the first day of his school, 50 years ago, he's telling, I met a cobbler boy my age sitting outside the gate of my school. I asked my teachers, why is he working outside? Why is he not with us in the school? My teachers had no answers. One day, I gathered the courage to ask the boy's father. He said, Sir, I have never thought about it. We are born to work. Kailash Satyarthi says, 50 years ago, on the first day of the school, when he went to school, what he saw at the gate of the school, a cobbler boy was sitting. Okay, and to stitch shoes and chappals and everything. Okay, he was sitting. So he asked his teachers, why this boy, because he was the same age as Kailash. So he asked the teacher, why is that boy sitting outside working instead of why he is not coming to school like us? But the teachers had no answers. So somehow Kailash drew the courage and asked asked the boy's father, why he is not going to school? And the boy's father said, sorry, I never thought that my child, my boy, my son should get knowledge, should get education. We always felt that we are born to work, we are not born to get education. Okay. This answer made me angry. It still makes me angry. As a child, I had a vision of tomorrow, a vision of that cobbler boy sitting with me in my classroom. He got very angry with it. He says, when I was a child, I had this vision of tomorrow. My vision was that this cobbler boy should also be with me, sitting next to me in my classroom, studying, getting education. And now that tomorrow has become today. So that tomorrow, 50 years back tomorrow, is now today. Today it is the present times. I am today. I am in the present times now. And you are today. Today means today. We are talking about today now. Not what is going to be the future. We have to now think about today, present times. Today it is time for every child to have the right to life, right to freedom, right to health, right to education, right to safety, right to dignity, right to equality, and right to peace. He says today, in present times, in this modern civilized society, each child should have the right to life. Each child should have the right to education. Each child should have the right to freedom. Each child has the right to good health. Each child has the right for safety. Each child has a right to live a dignified life. Each child has a right to equality, and each child has a right to peace. Today, beyond the darkness, I see the smiling faces of our children in the blinking stars. That means you say today I am seeing the hope. I am seeing the faces of blinking children, of our children in the blinking stars. That means I am seeing hope. Today, in every wave of every ocean, I see my children are playing and dancing. Is hoping that today, present time, everything good will happen for our children. Today, in every plant, in every tree and mountain, I see our children growing freely with dignity. That's what he is emphasizing. is thinking that today, in present time, I want my children to be like this. I want them to be free. I want to be educated. I want to have a dignified life. Okay? Friends, I want you to see and feel this today inside you. So the same thing what I am feeling today, what I am envisaging, same thing you should feel now. That vision should come in each one of your mind. Okay, that all the children in this world should be free. All the children in this world should be healthy. All the children in this world should be educated. All the children should have the right to peace. There should not be violence. Okay? My dear sisters and brothers, as I said, many interesting things are happening today. May I please request you to put your hand close to your heart, close your eyes, and feel the child inside you. So he says, so that today, in the present time, so many interesting things happen. So I request you to just close your eyes, put your hand on your heart, and feel the child in you. Because every person there is a child. I am sure you can. Now listen to that child. Listen to he says, put your hand, close your eyes, and listen to the child inside you. Today I see thousands of Mahatma Gandhis, Nelson Mandelas, and Martin Luther Kings calling on us. You will realize that you have to do something for these children. That's why he says that I am seeing who? In all of you I am seeing so many Mahatma Gandhis, so many Nelson Mandelas, so many Martin Luther Kings. Means all these personalities we have. You can also become another Mahatma Gandhi. You can become another Nelson Mandela. You can become another Martin Luther King. So let us democratize knowledge. Let us universalize justice. Together, let us globalize compassion. So he says, now let us make knowledge democratic. Everyone should have knowledge. Everyone should have justice. And compassion should be globalized. Everywhere there should be compassion. I call upon you in this room and all across the world. I call for a march from exploitation to education. I call for a march from poverty to shared prosperity. A march from slavery to liberty. And a march from violence to peace. So he says, I am calling you all those who are present in this room and all those who are watching me on TV or watching me or those in the world. I am telling you that let us change ourselves. Let us change this world from exploitation. Instead of exploitation, there should be education everywhere. Instead of poverty, let us share our prosperity. Okay? Instead of slavery, let there be liberty spread everywhere. Instead of violence, there should be peace everywhere. So, he says, let us march from ignorance to awakening. From ignorance, let us come to a new awakening. Okay? Let us march from darkness to light. So, from darkness, let us move towards light. From ignorance, let us move towards awakening. Let us march from mortality to divinity. From a mortal person, let us become divine. Let us change this world. Okay? And let us bring peace in this world. That's all. Let us march. Okay? That's all for you. I hope you have understood this chapter. You have understood what I want to say. What Kailash Satyarthi has addressed to you in this speech. Okay? So, please subscribe yourself to this channel Galaxy Online Learning and don't forget to press the bell icon so that you can get all the notifications once immediately the new video is uploaded. Thank you.